Hello everyone, good afternoon, welcome back to the circuit Spa-Francorchamps. Here we are for race 2 for our Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli AM drivers. 2 categories put together for your entertainment. The Pirelli drivers with the red strip across the top of the windscreen and the AM drivers with the white strip across the top of the windscreen. So here we are then, Spa-Francorchamps in the Ardennes region of Belgium. And right now, let's bring you our official warm welcome to the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. And there it is. So what's the story? What's the news? The news is that this is the 7th round of our 2025 calendar. So after this event, we have only 2 more races to do. Well, 3 if you consider the World Finals as well, which will form part of the Finale Mondiale event at Mugello, as you can see, which takes place between the 21st and the 26th of October. And the grid there being assembled of our Pirelli and Pirelli AM cars. The track temperature 19 degrees, the air temperature 13 degrees. Now, we have had 1 race on track, which was very much in damp conditions. There is no question about it that the track conditions now will be for slick tyres. The drivers and engineers and coaches that I've spoken to before coming up to our broadcast booth all telling me they're going to be on slick tyres, no question about it. We're looking at the 26 car of Björn Grossman then. And Björn had a torrid time of it yesterday, a puncture ruining his race. He'll be hoping for better luck today for the Octane 126 driver, who is starting from P2 on the grid. It was a good qualifying. Qualifying took place on Friday. And there you can see Spa R1 is on the tyre wall of that tyre on the David Gosner car. And David Gosner, who finished on the podium P2 in race 1, and he is going from pole position within class, but that is on the 2nd row of the grid overall. So what happened in race 1? Let's take a look at the highlights right now. Lights went out. Let's go racing. Ferrari Challenge, Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli AM. Felix Herziger, Yasin Ferrati side by side. Great start from Björn Grossman, who was able to put himself through and pick up that P3 position. And 1 or 2 drivers just behind, holding on to their positions. Henrik Viol was squeezed very close to the concrete, and he was leading, though, in Pirelli AM, having got the better of David Gosner. This was a talking point as Yasin Ferrati and Felix Herziger were side by side through the chicane, and Felix Herziger also going through there, and Björn Grossman really struggling to hold on to that car, but this was a scary moment. Onto the grass, losing a door mirror, then the car snapping as well. It was some of the best controlled driving I have seen from Felix Herziger. It could have been oh so different. It was a disappointment for Andrew Morrow, who was in a podium place, but the car giving up on him at that point, which meant that he wouldn't finish the race. And, well, Herbert Guys was going around. That was Otto Blank rather than Herbert Guys, I beg your pardon, as Yasin Ferrati. Well, he crossed the line first, but the winner would be Felix Herziger for Trofeo Pirelli, and for Pirelli Am it would be Hendrik Viol. And as you can see, celebrations were pretty lively. Last image of those highlights was Hendrik Viol being congratulated by his partner Claudia, and Hendrik Viol could actually seal the Trofeo Pirelli Am title today. There he is, the Scuderia Prague driver. With about 50 seconds, I want to say a huge welcome to our guest who's joining us on the air this afternoon, FAA, who of course is a Le Mans race winner, and many congratulations. What a fantastic achievement you have done over there at the Circuit de la Salle. We're so proud of you.
Good afternoon, Dave. Good afternoon, everyone watching live streaming. Yeah, it's the best day of my life. Winning the 24 Hours Le Mans with Ferrari. It's a dream come true, and managing actually 3 wins in a row for Ferrari after 2023, 24, this year in 25. It's just amazing achievement that I can never dream of.
I'm just a bit disappointed with you because I sent you a text immediately and you didn't respond. You might have been a bit busy, I get that. But well done to you and your team members. We'll talk more in just a moment. What a year it has been in 2025, but what a year 2026 is going to be as well.
We are racing drivers, not by chance, but by calling. We chase each other at the edge of control, battling to crown the one and only champion. Rivals in speed, brothers in spirit. A new season approaches, and there's an inkling of the excitement to come. By the seaside, over the rolling Apennines to the foot of the Alps, we will race along roads driven for 100 years, reach the ocean, and behold the city divided by a vast blue river. This is the path set before us. Every turn, every straight will carry us through this journey. Ferrari Challenge, Trofeo Pirelli Europe, season 2026.
And that was part of the reason I wanted to talk very much about you Le Mans race winner, because of course with the Ferrari Challenge we are going to be back at Le Mans next year in a support category, driving on the Circuit de la Salle, whilst of course you and your team members will be out in the prototype cars, top level of Le Mans. It's just such an event, isn't it?
Absolutely. First of all, I'm very happy for the drivers that will have the honor to drive on the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The same track next year on the Ferrari Challenge car is going to be amazing, I can promise you. And yeah, it's the biggest endurance race in the world. There are 300,000 people coming to watch every year, and it's a race that everyone dreams to win. It's a race part of the Triple Crown after Monaco Grand Prix and Indy 500 miles. So for sure, this race is very hard. This year was like 12 Grand Prix races in a row because we had no rain, only one safety car. So it was just full push from the beginning to the end, but at the end we made it, and the sense of achievement is amazing, especially when I wake up next day realizing I've done it, and it was actually also my birthday, my 25th birthday on Monday, so it was just a perfect day.
Well, you deserve all the celebrations and everything that you experienced, and I can only imagine what that must be like for a young, talented racing driver like you. Well done indeed. Let's meet one of our Ferrari Challenge drivers now. This is Otto Blank.
To be a Ferrari driver is very special because it feels like a big family, and it's always like a big harmony and always big fun, yes. I think everything is special. The qualifying, the training, the being with other drivers, the racing. Everything is special, yes. It's a bit of thrill, fun, excitement. Yeah, it's a mix. It's a very special feeling. I'm really happy to be back because my first time was 2 years ago with the 488, and now coming back with the 296, it's very special because it's more powerful, faster, more fun to drive, especially with this weather. Finale Mondiale is very special because all the drivers from all over the world coming to one racetrack, competing each other. I think that's the most special thing for Finale Mondiale.
This is the Spa-Francorchamps circuit then, 7.004 kilometers of hallowed tarmac, 19 turns, 10 left, 9 right, Anderson. The elevation changes as it winds its way through. The topography of the Ardennes region is something very special indeed. It is one of the most revered and iconic circuits, not only in Europe, but right around the world as well. And the car's about to be released on their formation lap, side by side. The Richard Mills safety car sends the cars away right now then. 30 minutes plus 1 lap. And we will bring you the grid in full from back to front. Bear in mind, we have 2 categories racing in this Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli race. We have our Trofeo Pirelli drivers with the red strip across the top of the windscreen, and then the Trofeo Pirelli AM drivers with the white strip across the top of the windscreen. And to remind you, that car center picture right now is the car of Hendrik Viol, Trofeo Pirelli AM driver who could seal the Trofeo Pirelli AM title in this race. Basically, he needs to finish P4 or better, and he's starting P2 in class. Otto Blank, we've just heard from him. He goes from the 11th row of the grid. He is one of our Trofeo Pirelli AM drivers, as are Herbert Guys and James Owen. They are on the 10th row of the grid. It's Raphael Duran and Max Mugelli who are P18 and P17. Max Mugelli, a Pirelli driver, and Jakob Bidstrup and Henry Acid go from 16 and 15. Michael Verhagen and Angelo Fontana are on the 7th row of the grid, and to the 6th row we find Hanno Laskowski and Danilo Del Favero. On to row 5, it's Marco Sanassi and Anders Bidstrup. They go P10 and P9. Then it's Andrew Morrow and Dylan Medler. Dylan Medler, one of our North American drivers. Hendrik Viol leading in the AM Championship. He goes from P6, and alongside him, going from P5, Gilles Renmans. Then it's David Gosner and Yasin Ferrati. Before we get to Björn Grossman and our pole sitter, Felix Herziger. He goes from pole position then. And once again, we will hear from our pole-sitting driver right now. This is what he had to say.
Position here in Spa, perfect day for us, and very thankful to the team, Reparto Corse and my sponsor Neupack. The session was incredible. We just needed 1 lap and it was perfectly clean, and just found the last few tenths that I was missing this morning. So I'm very happy about the lap, and want to say thank you to everybody watching at home, and see you soon.
Thank you very much, Felix. If I may, the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, which, if my memory is correct, you've raced on 9 times, I think you told me. I mean, it's a challenging circuit in its own right. Does it become even more challenging because the weather conditions have been such where offline now it's going to be a bit damp?
Absolutely. I've been racing here every year since 2017, and because of the rain overnight and this morning, there are white patches on the track. So on the racing line, I suppose it's kind of dry, but if you're going offline to defend and overtake, it's going to be tricky. So it will not be easy to exchange positions, but it's going to be interesting for us to watch, so let's see.
Yeah, indeed. We're so delighted that you are with us, and Ife can only be with us for a little while because I know he's on presentation duties for the trophies for this race as well, so they work the drivers really hard here. You're not doing that, apparently. Oh, okay, that's cool. You stay with us for as long as you would like to, my friend. You're always welcome here. We could see weaving from side to side from Eric Marston, another North American racer that has chosen to come and race in this Trofeo Pirelli weekend here at Spa as well. There, the cars lining up side by side. In grid formation then, the Richard Mills safety car will disappear up the road, and it will be the responsibility of Felix Herziger and Björn Grossman to control the pace of the rolling start. And there you can see what an awesome sight it is. Some 21 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli cars across both Pirelli and Pirelli AM. You're welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. This is going to be a humdinger of a race. There are challenges aplenty, as Ife has suggested. Offline, it can be a bit damp and a bit perilous. So Björn Grossman would be delighted to take a win here. He's had a torrid weekend so far. Can he right the wrongs of yesterday and do well today? The cars are approaching the bus stop chicane. First right, then left. You do climb uphill here. We'll throw the lighting gantry to the top of the screen so that you can see when the lights are extinguished, and we will be racing. Felix Herziger took the win yesterday. Is he going to be able to do the same today? Stand by. We are about to find out. 30 minutes plus 1 lap of Ferrari Challenge Racing. We are go. So La Source is the first turn, the right-hander, and it's a bit of a pinch point here. Felix Herziger and David Gosner making contact with Björn Grossman, trying to go around the outside as Dylan Medley. He puts a back wheel into the gravel, and there's strife for Björn Grossman and for Felix Herziger. Felix Herziger might be able to recover from there. I don't think Björn Grossman will. That means that Yasin Ferrati, I think, is leading the race. So Yasin Ferrati, P1. And, yeah, very unfortunate for Björn Grossman and Felix Herziger. And here is Yasin Ferrati. Sure enough, he is leading, and then running in P2. I think that is Gilles Renmans, local driver. And then David Gosler right behind. Then it is Marco Zanassi, and also there is our Pirelli AM championship leader, Hendrik Viol. So the order is Yasin Ferrati, Gilles Renmans, David Gosler, Marco Zanassi. And Felix Herziger is out of the race. The Ineco Reparto Corsa Ram driver is out. He will be livid, I would think. Safety car has been called for. And look at the disappointment inside the garage of Ineco Reparto Corsa Ram, which is the team, of course, that runs the car of Felix Herziger. He is out. Safety car called for. And that, Ife, if I may bring you in at this point, I said La Source, the first turn, it is a bit of a pinch point, and you know, you go into a funnel there, don't you? And on the opening stage of this race, of course, you've got all the cars trying to go through that corner at the same time.
I mean, they started all 2 wide and ended up at 1.5 wide. It's not going to work in La Source, so. We have to see the replay to understand what happened exactly. I'm sure it will be extremely busy in the race control. Luckily, I'm not there this time. But yeah, I saw a big dent on Yasin Ferrati's bumper, so it'll be interesting to understand what happened exactly into T1. But for sure, big disappointment for the Hilsinger. Let's see.
Well, Ife, let's have a look at this race. I mean, I don't think Ferrati could have been much closer to Herziger, could he? Now we're seeing them tracking now. This is heading towards T1. Oh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything, but there you can see Björn Grossman was out. I mean, he was stuck right in the middle there, and Felix Herziger actually was unfortunate because he was on the wide outside. We'll see it better here.
And he got collected by a car.
He did. You're absolutely right. And I think Björn was pushed into that. We're on board with Scuderia Prague, Hendrik Viol. Let's see if we can pick it out better here.
It does look like there was slight contact between the P1 and P3 at the start on the inside line. So let's see.
You make mention of the fact that you're glad you're not in race control, because I know you have been sitting in there. You're a hugely successful racing driver, Ife. Let's be honest here. You don't always agree with some of the decisions that are made by race control, because it's natural, a racing driver won't. But actually, you see it from a different perspective when you sit in there, don't you?
Absolutely. There was also an incident in the Trophy Pirelli yesterday where, yeah, it was good that I could give my insight as a driver about, you know, what the stewards might not see from their point of view. And I think at the end, it's good to have both ideas, and then we can make the decision more fair. And yeah.
Well, I can tell you that incident in Turn 1 is under investigation. You'll see that in graphics on the screen in just a moment's time. But it's not the way we wanted necessarily the race to be started. But there we are. We have lost Felix Herziger, Björn Grossman. I think we've lost James Owen as well. His was the car that was had got a track control arm or something, I think, had been broken as a consequence of damage. And there you can see that is Giacomo Altoe as we split the screen, who again is another hugely successful driver, now acts as a driver coach for the Emil Frey racing team. Now his driver Yasin Ferrati is P1, Gilles Renmans P2. Now in Hendrik Viol's car, we're on board with him right now, running in P3. in class, this would be enough for Hendrik Viol to become the champion. His arch nemesis in the championship, as we look at Hendrik's partner, Claudia, who's watching on. I mean, the anxiety and the tension, I mean, it's bad enough in the cockpit of a car, but actually, and there is the James Owen car. James is out of the race. What I was trying to say, Ife, is, you know, the tension, the anxiety, the nerves inside the car, but of course it's felt by other team members as well, and you race as a constituent member of a 3-driver team, and you all share the same emotions, whether they're positive or negative, I guess.
Absolutely, especially when you are not driving, when you see your teammates drive, you're not in control of what the car is doing, so you're always kind of anxious, but at the end you have already formed a strong, let's say, bond with your teammates.
Yes.
Here, in the same case, you are forming a strong bond with your engineer, so at the end you trust each other and you have faith that each other will do well together. So,
how, I mean, this year, with you sealing that fantastic win, which did, as you quite rightly pointed out earlier on, it's 3 years in a row since Ferrari have returned to the top class of racing at Le Mans. And not only, you know, we've had the two cars from the factory, and now the independent car as well with you guys in. It's just a fairy tale story, isn't it?
You know, it might sound easy from outside, but this year we are having a 21 car grid in the hypercar category,
Yes.
so it's extremely hard to continue winning, and at the end actually winning 3 times in a row is something that I will never have thought possible, and at the end it just goes to show how much expertise and how much skill the Ferrari engineers and mechanics and the whole team are, and it's really rewarding for all of them.
I just want to big up, you know, your teammates who did a great job, as well as you. But also, I want to big up the architect of the success, Antonello Coletta, of course, who is overall team boss, and also Amato Ferrari. I mean, he is such an enigmatic character. And I remember when I first met Amato a number of years ago, he has got the most piercing eyes that I have ever seen on anyone. He is one of the nicest guys I've ever met as well, but he is so successful, Ife.
I'm jealous of him for such blue eyes. You know, some Italians have amazing eyes, I cannot deny. And, you know, the combination of AF Corsa, team owned by Amato Ferrari, with Ferrari managed by, on the insurance side, Antonio Coletta, forms a very strong partnership, and since years they have been very successful. So is the case in the hypercar era, and this year we're trying to bring home the Constructors' Championship, and we are leading the championship. So yeah, with 2 races to go, let's try our best.
And you say 2 races to go. You've not got much rest this week, have you? Because you'll be heading straight to Fuji.
Absolutely, that's the racing driver's life, unfortunately and fortunately.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, going back, and you and I first met, we first spoke about each other not so very long ago, and I'm in awe of your extraordinary success as a racing driver. You know, the talent was clear to be seen, but you have, you know, you've harnessed it. It has been recognized by people, and look at you now. I am so proud. How dare I say that? But I say it because I met you when, you know, you were just on the cusp of that success coming. You must be so proud of how your career has gone.
Absolutely. I mean, becoming a professional racing driver, becoming a factory driver for a top team has always been, let's say, one of the hardest steps to do for a racing driver. And 2 years ago, I had the pride to join Ferrari and becoming their first Chinese factory driver. And last year, winning in Austin, winning on the same day where Charles Leclerc winning Monza F1, first time that Ferrari won on the same day in 2 different world championships. So already being part of that was a huge success for my CV with Ferrari. And this year, winning Le Mans, it's just the cherry on top. So.
And the sacrifice that you've had to make for you to be able to achieve what you have achieved. I mean, you know, as a very, very young man, you know, having to uproot from your home and come and live where you can really, really develop your career. I mean, it's a big ask for a young man, isn't it?
Absolutely. I moved away from home at 14 years old. I moved all the way to Le Mans to study, to start racing single-seaters, and has been a huge sacrifice for me, long way from family, long way from friends. But at the end, 11 years after, standing on the top of the Le Mans overall podium, everything's worth it. And I hope that this can also inspire more younger generation Asian Chinese drivers to come out and showcase themselves, and one day also achieve great results on such a global stage.
Absolutely, you've said it so well, and yes, I really, really do hope that your success really supports other drivers as we, I regret to tell you, get a red flag on this race. Thank you for filling that time so nicely, Ife. But we've got a red flag now, so I suspect that maybe that's been brought about because of barrier damage that cannot be repaired instantly. I don't know. It is conjecture on my part. So red flag has been called. We've got Ferrari, Remans, Ghostner, Zanassi. They are the top two in each of the categories. I can tell you also from race control, the information I have is that the start is under investigation. I'm not surprised by that. We're on board with Hendrik Viol, who's running P3. And as I said earlier on, that would be enough for him to be able to seal the Trofeo Pirelli AM Championship. He needs to finish P4 or better. Inside the Scuderia Prague garage right now, and there right in the middle of the picture is Hendrik's partner, Claudia. And yeah, I mean, there's as much anxiety inside the garage as there is inside the car. I would suggest the Ferrari Challenge 296 car here at Spa-Francorchamps. The clock has been stopped with 20 minutes and 1 lap remaining from this race. The unfortunate incident right at the very start means that we do have that red flashing light signal and red flag all the way around the track. So I'm guessing that the cars will be brought back into the pit lane. The safety car, which was initially called for. Clearly, race control have established that a safety car is not going to enable them to do whatever it is that they need to do to get the track back into a situation where it can go, where we can go racing. So, yes, as predicted, the cars making their way into the pit lane now. And Hendrik Viol, the car that you can see there as our drone follows that number 92 Trofeo Pirelli AM car into the pit lane. Hendrik Viol was the bridesmaid last year in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli AM Championship, losing out in the title fight, and it was a brilliant fight all the way to the final race weekend. And as I say, Hendrik losing out to Klaus Sebranson. And this year, he came back re-energized into the championship and has had a stellar season, and he's on the brink of being able to seal the title in this race. So we will see. Ife, when you're a racing driver and you go through routines to get yourself ready for the race, you psych yourself up for something, when you get a situation like this, let's watch this through here. Because this was the incident that has caused ultimately the red flag, and it was through turn number 1. Now, there's a little puff of tyre smoke comes up there, which suggests to me that somebody had locked up.
The inside line was kind of wet from the rain overnight, so that can actually make you kind of lock up more easier, and okay, maybe that's kind of the reason that they ran wide in turn 1, but I do suspect there have been contacts up in the front.
Oh, goodness me. Herbert Guy's got spun around as well. I hadn't noticed that. It was one of the bid strips in there, and that's what caused problems for James Owen as well. On board with Hendrik Viol then from Scuderia Prague, who was right in the middle here. I've never heard the expression before, and you said it so well, that actually 2 wide is okay, 1.5 is not. It's not going to work.
Absolutely, and it's a big entrance into first corner, but at exit it's actually getting tight. So, and whenever you go on power, the car automatically goes outside. So then typically you have cars touching each other on exit, and unfortunately that's what happened, which put
Okay, race controller telling us that the race is going to resume in 11 minutes' time, 14:10. And big shout out to all the marshals that the Orange Army, they're called, that around the world do a great job for us in terms of ensuring that we can enjoy the sport that we do. What I wanted to say to you just before we saw those replays of the start is that, yeah, when you've psyched yourself up for a race start, and it gets stopped even before one lap is completed. Therefore, you're sat in the car right now, and it feels almost like a damp squib because you haven't gone racing. You've got to dig deep to bring yourself back up again. What do you do, Ife, as a top racing driver to try and absorb this energy, this pent-up energy that you had ready for the race start and actually the race not continuing?
I mean, at this point, as a driver, I want to understand from engineers what's happened on track.
Yep.
If the car is okay, who is the car in front and behind, and at the end have to also find my focus back, because it's easy to get distracted when you stop on track. Important to still keep your concentration up there and to visualize what you're gonna do at the safety car restart.
And the team presumably play a part in that as well, because maybe they speak to you on the radio and try and keep you calm. And we're seeing some drivers actually jumping out of the car here, and perhaps they're going to take a comfort break or whatever, you know. Everyone, each and every driver probably will behave in a different way as we take a look at all the cars now. There are engineers there, team bosses there as well. We're looking at the Hanno Laskowski car. This is the Max Mugelli car number 3. Then the car number 33, which is driven by Michael Verhagen. Spent some time with Michael socially last night. Very enjoyable it was too. Rafael Duran, another talented young driver. The session is suspended. I am being advised that maybe there might be a problem on the Ferrari car now, which would lend itself to suggesting that perhaps there might have been contact right at the start. And you said if you're on the inside, Ife, that presumably there could be some water held in the curb area there, and that of course would impact on what grip is available to you.
Absolutely. I mean, from the outside visuals, we see there's quite a visible dent on the Aston Ferrari's bumper, so that do suggest there might have been kind of contact. And yes, because it rained last night, as you can see on the screen right now, the inside line where the racing line is not at tends to get dry the slowest. Therefore, when you get on it, when you try to take the inside line T1, you can get water dampness on your tires. Therefore, you have less grip, and therefore you can actually outbrake yourself. And yeah, and that's what presumably have happened in the race.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, and you're certainly in a far better, more qualified position to ascertain probably what happened than certainly I am. So there we have it. It's where we are. We are about 9 minutes, make that 8 minutes away from the race getting underway once again. So just enjoy some of the images right now to music.
Briefly taking over for Dave. We are still behind the safety car. Red flag actually. 6.5 minutes remaining. As our spectators are watching on.
So confirmation on screen, as you can see, race going to be resumed at 10 past 2 local time. And the Emil Frey team working very, very hard on the Yassin Ferrari car. And seeing what they can do to get that back into a position where it can go racing. Because when the race resumes, we will have 20 minutes plus 1 lap. And well, that's good to see. Just seeing from our drone shot there, the light blue colours of Herbert Guys. Now, you may recall when we've seen the replays of the start, Herbert Guys got turned around right at the back of the pack. Thankfully, he is still running, it would appear. There's one of the blowers at work there, just getting rid of the gravel that's been stricken across the exit of turn 1. And Herbert Guys, who we were talking about just a moment ago in that light blue car run by Pro Racing, and Harold Prochik is his driver coach. We'll be hoping for better luck for Harold for Herbert today. He's had a pretty torrid weekend of it, which is not reflective of what he normally does in racing. He's been doing a really, really good job across the season. There is a great shot of the inside of the 296 Challenge car. You can see the display there. And just below the display, you can just see the steering wheel there. And I have to say, Ife, something that I find amazing is that it's a jolly good job that you're as young as you are, because the steering wheel that you have to work with, that you have so many buttons, there are so many different inputs that you have available to you in cars nowadays, in racing cars, that you know, you really need to be almost a technophobe as well as a top racing driver, don't you?
It's like a supercomputer you have in front of you, basically. I've had the chance to drive one of these cars, the 296 Challenge cars, and I have to say they're extremely well built, easy to drive, easy to understand. Also, there are things you can adjust inside the cockpit that helps you to dial in different parameters of the car. And I think it's a good tool to learn before jumping to higher category cars like GT3. And on our hypercar, for example, we have like thousands of changes we can do on the steering wheel. And actually, in a race, when you cannot change the physical setup of the car, it's important to be able to understand what you can do on the steering wheel to actually maximize the performance.
Because what we don't necessarily always appreciate, that as tyre degradation plays a part, as the track changes, things evolve during the course of a race, and particularly so in an endurance race as well. So you being able to make those adjustments, presumably, optimizes the performance.
Absolutely. One easy example is that we can change the anti-roll bars in our hypercars,
Okay.
the 499P hypercars, which means that depending on track condition, depending on tire degradation, on temperature, we can adjust the stiffness of the roll bars, which can suit the balance better for either conditions. And at the end, I think it's actually quite demanding for the driver to understand what you can do outside of driving the car as quickly as you can, but also try to utilize those tools as clever as possible to, make your car as performant as possible.
Thank you so much. We're delighted that we have Le Mans race winner Ife A alongside us for this Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli Am race, which has been curtailed with initially a safety car and then a red flag situation brought about by an incident going through La Source at the start of the race, which regrettably has seen casualties by way of Felix Herziger, Björn Grossman and James Owen. We are going back to racing in around about 2.5 minutes' time, though, and there is the current leader in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Am Championship. That is Hendrik Viol. I have made mention of the fact that it is possible for him to seal the title before we go to the final round in Mugello. He could do that here at Spa-Francorchamps today. He needs to finish P4 or better. He currently sits P3. Ahead of him, Marco Zanassi and David Gosner. Right behind him, Andrew Morrow. They, as racing drivers, will not care a jot about Hendrik Viol's position in the Drivers' Championship, because it's every driver wants to be as far up the order as they can be. So the likes of Andrew Morrow and Anders Bidstrup that are right behind Hendrik Viol will be trying just as hard as they always are to pass the car in front of them. And we'll see. It looks like the Emil Frey team have completed their work on the Yasin Ferrari car. Presumably they're satisfied and happy with what they have done. And right now we are just about 2 minutes away from going back to this Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli Am race. We look at the car of Rafael Duran, who has also raced not only here in Europe, but also in North America as well. The Ferrari Challenge, if I may explain, stretches its tentacles right around the world. We race not only here in Europe, but we also race in North America. We race in Japan, we race in Australasia, and we race in the UK too. And we have a number of UK drivers and North American drivers this weekend here at Spa-Francorchamps because the iconic nature of this extraordinary circuit means that drivers wanted to be part of this weekend, and that's also something that is encouraged in the Ferrari Challenge. There is an interchange, there is an opportunity for you to come and take part in a race that is away from your base championship, if you like. You can, and it is positively encouraged, and that's why we get such a fantastic mix of drivers from all around the world that take part in the Ferrari Challenge. And the biggest showroom of that will come in about 5 or 6 weeks' time at the Finale Mondiale event, as the cars are being released right now out of the pit lane. And there is the Hanno Laskowski car number 85, the Entertainer from Emil Frey Racing. And there's Rafael Duran as the cars making their way down the pit lane, and they're the light blue colours of Herbert Guys. So we are back behind the safety car. The clock is ticking away. That means the race has effectively restarted. I'm thinking, Ife, they'll do one lap behind the safety car, then the safety car will come in and release them to go racing again.
Maybe yes, maybe not, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, maybe yes, maybe not. I see no reason. I mean, the cars will be in single file formation rather than side by side, but we will see. It's a long lap here at Spa-Francorchamps, of course, 7.004 kilometers. And there, the number 92 Scuderia Prague engineered car of Hendrik Viol, championship leader in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Am. We're on board with the Richard Mills safety car with some threatening cloud above. I did look at the weather forecast just before the race got underway, and there was not necessarily any indication that there was any rain to come, but you never really know here at Spa-Francorchamps. It's kind of in its own little microclimate, if you will. So you just kind of never know what's going to happen. Cars weaving from side to side. Now, the reason we see this weaving from side to side, and Ife, I'm sure, will confirm this, is to generate and try and generate some temperature into tyres, isn't it?
I think they're also getting bored, so they do it to warm up their arms. And no, it is quite important to generate lateral load on the tires, especially in Spa. You have long corners. It's important to utilize these 2 laps, especially today. It's not so hot, so on some tracks it's so hot that actually when you have safety car you try to cool down the tires, but here everyone has to do their best to warm up the tires. But actually you see the track is not fully dry, so you have to be careful when you weave, not to weave when there's water, and then you can actually lose the car. So
that would be curtains, wouldn't it? Right. I was right. Safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap, so just 1 lap behind the safety car before we go back to racing again. It's going to be, and I use this expression often, it's going to be a dash for cash, because it is going to be like a sprint race like no other, because by the time the cars get to the safety car line on this track, it's going to be about 16 minutes of racing, maybe even 15 minutes of racing, plus the 1 lap, of course. So, going from P1, Yasin Ferrari, Gilles Renmans. Now, he is a local driver. He's representing Francorchamps Motors Brussels. Oh, what a fantastic opportunity this would be for him, potentially, to be on the podium and maybe even take a win as well. We will see. He'll get extra motivation, I feel sure, from the hundreds and hundreds of guests and family and fans and supporters that he has here. So weaving from side to side, of course, they try and use the brakes as well, because the temperature that is generated from the brakes, dissipates through the rims and out onto the rubber of the tyres, one hopes. Ferrari, Renmans, and then it's Gosner and Zanassi.
Well, you have done your homework, Dave. I'm impressed.
You really are a nice man. I always thought you were going to be a #1 racing driver, and you are. See?
Thank you so much.
Right, 16.5 minutes on the clock right now, plus the 1 lap. Ferrari and Renmans, the top 2 for our Pirelli drivers. David Gosner, Marco Zanassi, the top 2 for the AM drivers, but there is talent littered throughout the grid. Okay, hold on to your hats. This is going to be very exciting. 16.5 minutes plus 1 lap, as near as makes no difference. Let's go racing. Ferrari Challenge, Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli AM. All cars single file into turn number 1. Yacine Ferrati going through, so too Gilles Renmans. And there you can see Giacomo Altoe as we split the screen. Driver coach to Emil Frey Racing drivers. And here is Hendrik Viol, who is being chased now by Andrew Morrow. You will recall me saying, I am sure, as car number 1 gets a drive-through penalty for incorrect starting alignment, that is our race leader, Yacine Ferrati. That means that Gilles Renmans becomes our race leader. And also car number 69, Marco Zanassi, gets a drive-through penalty. You will see those on screen in just a moment as Andrew Morrow takes the race to our championship leader in Trofeo Pirelli AM. That is Hendrik Viol. Now with Marco Zanassi, the car ahead of Hendrik Viol, having to take a drive-through penalty, that elevates Hendrik Viol to P2 in the race, and that would be enough for him to seal the championship in Trofeo Pirelli AM. Here is Yacine Ferrati then. There, confirmation, incorrect starting alignment means that he picks up a drive-through penalty. And that's going to drop him way down the order now. And that's perhaps a bitter pill to swallow, but probably Race Control have the ability to look at so many different things. They know what they're doing in there.
It's not going to be an easy message for the team to tell Yacine Ferrati, but yeah, unfortunately that's what happened.
Here is Andrew Morrow then. We ride on board with Hendrik Viol now. The RPM, PRM and Faye associated Andrew Morrow right behind Hendrik Viol. As I said, it will matter not a jot to him what Hendrik Viol is doing in the Drivers' Championship. All Andrew Morrow wants to do is move up the order, and at the moment he is running in P4 within class. If he can get by Hendrik Viol, it'll be P3. And of course, Marco Zanassi is going to come in as well. So that might be another opportunity for Andrew Morrow to move up a further place. We get that rearward shot there as Hendrik Viol runs a bit wide. Just got to keep an eye on the track limits here at Spa-Francorchamps as well. It's played a part, but more played a part as when in the dry. And that was Marco Zanassi running really wide into the bus stop chicane. But he's got a drive-through penalty, and once you've been given a drive-through penalty, you've got 3 laps within which to take that drive-through penalty, and neither Yacine Ferrati nor Marco Zanassi choosing to take that drive-through straight away. The number 80 car there, the multicoloured number 80 car there, is of Angelo Fontana, who was on the podium yesterday. It's a fantastic race for Angelo Fontana. And the speed camera there showing you and indicating just how quick these 296 Challenge cars are as they approach the bottom and go up Eau Rouge, head on to Radion, and then, of course, the Kemmel Straight. And this is Yacine Ferrati, who's got a gap of some 2.167 seconds over Gilles Renmans. But actually, the local driver, Gilles Renmans, is nominally the race leader because Yacine Ferrati has got to take a drive-through penalty. So for Gilles Renmans, driver of the number 77 car, who was on the podium yesterday taking P3, it is, provisionally, he could be going for step 1 on the podium, and as a local driver, that would mean so much to him.
Yacine Ferrati, I think, is trying to pull a gap as much as possible, so when he exits the pit exit, he will be hopefully in front of some cars, but unfortunately, since we're using the both F1 and endurance pit lane, when you take a drive-through, it's gonna put you way below the order. So unfortunately, that's gonna be kind of race over for him and Marco.
I often ask this question, perhaps you can answer it. Will the team have contested that drive-through? Do you ever see drive-throughs rescinded?
It does happen. Sometimes they make mistake with the car number. Sometimes there's, let's say, maybe a mistake of judgment. But often or not, when you have a drive-through, you have to take it.
Yeah.
That's
the deal, isn't it? That's the rules, and those are the rules, and I think you're absolutely right. Yassin Ferrari has just got the hammer down, and he is trying to build as big a gap as possible so that when he comes back, he is as far up the order as he can be. I am being told that the safety car period is under investigation. So, and there it is on in graphics on screen for you. Yassin Ferrari still not now. By my reckoning, next time around, he's got to take the drive-through. Marco Zanassi has come into the pit lane to take his drive-through. Yassin Ferrari choosing not to do that. So, that changes the order in Trofeo Pirelli Am to David Gosner, Hendrik Viol, and Andrew Morrow. And for Hendrik Viol, clearly and easily enough for him to take the championship title today. Here's Marco Zanassi running through the pits, taking his drive-through penalty. And we have 11 minutes plus 1 lap of this Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli race with Hendrik Viol running P2. David Gosner is still leading in Pirelli Ams. There he is, just going through on short. He's got a good margin over Hendrik Viol of about 3.5 seconds. And Andrew Morrow, though, is chasing
purple sector 1. That's quite impressive.
Yes. Yes. Andrew is he's a former Ferrari Challenge UK champion in Trofeo Pirelli and has raced for the last couple of years here in Europe as well. And he's a very, very talented driver. Very quiet, very calm, very assured. He had a DNF yesterday, and I often find, Ife, that when a driver is dealt a blow, they actually come back in the next race even stronger, even more determined to do well.
Absolutely. I mean, whenever you have a bad race weekend, you just hope the next race is around the corner so you can do remedy. But actually this race, luckily, is only 10 minutes left plus 1 lap. Yesterday there were many track limits infringements which led to penalties. Still there are like, I think, 6-7 laps to go, so make sure not to be too greedy with the track limits, which can jeopardize the results.
Indeed, we have got 4 track limits warnings already being issued in this race. As Hendrik Viol, you saw the live championship predictor on screen. This would be enough for Hendrik Viol, the bridesmaid last year in the Trofeo Pirelli Am Championship, to become the bride this year. And he's broken away a little bit from Andrew Morrow now, who showed fantastic pace. And through he goes, accelerates away now, and here comes Yassin Ferrari to take his drive-through penalty. Another driver that's going to get a drive-through penalty is car number 67, that's Henri Acide, for overtaking Dylan Medler before the line, and that would have been after the safety car, I suspect. So that's another drive-through penalty to come, but Henri Acide is down the order a bit, so yeah, a bitter pill to swallow again, but there we are. Yassin Ferrari taking that drive-through penalty then, and now David Gosner leading in Trofeo Pirelli Am, and Hendrik Viol running P2. But this is the leader in the race overall. Gilles Remans driving for Francorchamps Motors Brussels, therefore local to the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. There's confirmation of that drive-through penalty for Henri Acide. And we ride on board now the Gilles Remans car. So Gilles, a very, very talented young man, that's for sure. He took a race win in the first race of the season at Monza. Goodness me, that was his only win thus far this season. He's had podiums, but his only win coming in the opening race of the year. Roller coaster downhill right now. Telemetry we put on screen for you so you can see. 220 kilometers per hour, make that 230 before having to brake down from 6th, 5th and into 4th gear, bounce across the curbs and then back on the loud pedal, being chased there by David Gosner, who's doing a great job. David Gosner, he is leading in the AMS and he's only 2.2 seconds back of our Trofeo Pirelli race leader Gilles Remans. We've got 7.5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. And clear track ahead means you can just focus on every turn that you've got to make, making sure that everyone is pinch point and millimetrically perfect. There's Henri Acide. Now, that is the car Dylan Medler is Dylan Medler was overtaken by Henri Assi, but it was judged that he'd been overtaken before they'd crossed the line, and therefore Henri Assi has picked up a drive-through penalty. Here comes Dylan Medler fighting back, and right behind Dylan Medler is the car of Michael Verhagen, I believe. So Dylan Medler goes through at the bus stop chicane, and then Henri Assi dives in to take his drive-through penalty. And here is Michael Verhagen being chased now by Hanno Laskowski. So lots of action going on throughout the pack of cars, these Pirelli and Pirelli Am cars. Hanno Laskowski is certainly trying to take plenty of curb on the La Source turn, much more so than Michael Verhagen. And here, Henri Assi then taking his drive-through penalty for Kessel Racing and comes back out onto track again. I'm just looking, Yacine Ferrati, Ife, reinforcing what you were saying about how a drive-through penalty will affect you here. Yacine Ferrati returned on track, P17, I think, so that drive-through really hurts here at Spa.
And a good 43 seconds behind the leader, so yeah, he's actually on his own with Marcos and Assi behind him, so they're quite lonely on track.
Yeah, quite lonely, you're quite right. Okay, that was a good move from Danilo Del Favro and Bidstrup that we saw just a moment ago. Into a shot they come then. And there you can see on the back of that pack is the Angelo Fontana car. Danilo Del Favro running P5 in the race overall. That's P4 in class. Then Anders Bidstrup. This is Dylan Medler. I guess it's going to be a replay of his overtake on Henri Assi. Indeed it is. Comes out and dives to what is effectively the outside, but to be fair, he got past Henri Assi long before he had to make the right-hander, then the left-hander. Henri Assi diving in, and actually it's a really difficult pit lane entry here, Ife, because if you're in the wrong place, you can almost be in strife as a result of the car in front of you taken to the pit lane.
Absolutely, that was good overtake, but yeah, nothing to take credit away from him. Yeah, Hasid Henry was about to enter the pit, so he was gonna not fight so hard for it. So
you're right. You're absolutely right. Good point. Here is David Gosner then leading in our Trofeo Pirelli Am drivers. 4.5 minutes. He's leading Hendrik Viol and Andrew Morrow, and leading the race overall, Gilles Renmans, and the number 77 car you can see there. There is David Gosner. Here comes Hendrik Viol, and then it is Andrew Morrow. Before this gaggle of cars that you've got, Danilo Del Favro, Anders Bidstrup diving to the inside of Danilo Del Favro. He's not close enough in the number 29 car. Then right behind is Angelo Fontana. Angelo Fontana, though, has got Dylan Medler for company, and Dylan Medler, a Trofeo Pirelli driver who, I remind you, just last weekend was winning a race in Laguna Seca in the North American Ferrari Challenge. So he knows how to pedal these challenge cars, that's for sure. And he's possibly the tallest driver in the paddock this weekend at 7'5". I'm joking about that. He's not that tall, but he is a tall guy. Dylan Medler, a great driver.
Just saw Yacine Ferrati pop up with the best lap of the race, 2 minute 19.7, a good half a second quicker than the second fastest car on track, but all of that doesn't lead to a race win, unfortunately, if you made a mistake earlier in the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're right, but it proves that he's got the pace, hasn't he, Yacine Ferrati, a very young driver, and he has been in the Ferrari Challenge all season long, and it's been quite a battle between himself and Felix Herziger over the course of the season. But the thing is that actually, just looking at how the dominoes have fallen in this race, this is almost unbelievable. But for Trofeo Pirelli, Yacine Ferrati is going to be on the podium. He's going to take P3 because we have lost so many Pirelli drivers. Max Mugelli, Felix Herziger, Björn Grossman. So that's extraordinary that, you know, he's a long way down in the race overall, but actually in class for a Pirelli driver, he is potentially going to be on the podium. Just saying, just thought I'd bring that up. 2.5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. The Ferrari Challenge is nothing if not absolutely, totally entertaining and compelling. And Dylan Medler is utterly and totally determined to get past Angelo Fontana here, going up towards the bus stop chicane. Here comes Gilles Renmans. He crosses the timing line. So too does David Gosner. Does Dylan Medler manage to do it? We'll just see them at the back of the shot here. No, Dylan Medler has not gone through yet. Is it a question of when rather than if? He's not as close to Angelo Fontana as he was, truthfully. Danilo Del Favaro leading Bidstrup, then Fontana, then Dylan Medler driving for the collection Miami. And his team here and his family here as well. They are truly, truly lovely people. And we're reaching the closing stages of this. By my reckoning, 1.5 minutes plus 1 lap of racing to come from the Ferrari Challenge, Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli AM drivers here. Gilles Renmans, P1 in class. P2 in class, Dylan Medler. P3 in class, Max Mugelli. So Max Mugelli, so there might have been something wrong with the transponders that we were seeing, because Max Mugelli is now showing us P3 in Pirelli and Yasin Ferrati down to P4. So Yasin Ferrati at the moment would not get a podium out of this. For some reason, the transponder was not responding the signal from Max Mugelli's car, so that's why Yasin Ferrati suddenly appeared in P3. So it would be Gilles Renmans, Dylan Medler and Max Mugelli on the podium places for Pirelli drivers. Yasin Ferrati P4, Omri Acid P5. Of course, Yasin Ferrati and Omri Acid both having taken drive-through penalties. For our AM drivers, David Gosner, Hendrik Viol and Andrew Morrow. That's the way it looks at the moment. 30 seconds plus 1 lap. And there, the Gilles Renmans, Francorchamps Motors, Brussels, Ferrari 296 challenge car, making its way around this 7.004 kilometer Spa-Francorchamps circuit. So Gilles Renmans then, as I said, is keeping it cool, calm and collected, because a huge number of friends, family and guests here, because it is local race for him, as our drone picks the car up coming into the chicane right now. Right-hander first of all, then a left-hander. You climb uphill and you don't really realize that until you've been round the track either by foot, by bicycle or indeed by car. Final lap is underway right now. And it is Gilles Renmans, P1. David Gosner within 1.968 seconds of him as they cross the line, and David Gosner is leading in the AM drivers. Hendrik Viol is P2 in the AM drivers, and then it's Andrew Morrow who is P3. For our Pirelli drivers, it's Dylan Medler and Max Mugelli who are in the P2 and P3 places. The incident in turn number 1, right at the start of the race, Ife, no further action after investigation. And you've been in race control, you know what race control is like. They've got access to lots and lots of data, even more screens than we have in broadcast. Generally, they can look at things and they can see whether action needs to be taken.
Absolutely. Every time someone is under investigation, for instance, when we were, sometimes, I hope not so often, you always have your heart suspended. You never know what's going to happen until you see the message, no further under investigation, then your heart finally calms down.
It goes back to its resting rate,
Exactly.
Yes, and rightly so. Gilles Renmans then for Francorchamps Motors, Brussels, heading towards, as I mentioned, he was on the podium yesterday, and that was big enough when it's a local race, when it's your home race. You know, to get a podium is fantastic, but to get the race win, and he's shown promise all season long. It's remarkable that this will only be his 2nd win of the season. He opened the campaign with a win at Monza, the Temple of Speed, and Gilles, there is no question about it, very, very talented driver indeed. He's going for the win in Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. Going for the win in Pirelli AM is David Gosner. David Gosner, engineered by the CDP MB racing team, MP Massimo Pepe, who's been involved in the Ferrari Challenge for more years than probably he or I care to remember, but does a great job. But right now, through the chicane for the final time of asking, The local driver, Gilles Remans, heads towards the checkered flag and wins. And David Gosner wins in Pirelli Am. And here comes our new Pirelli Am Drivers' Champion. Hendrik Viol wins the 2025 title by taking P2, heading Andrew Morrow across the line, who takes a very, very good P3, ahead of Danilo Del Favaro, Anders Bidstrup, Angelo Fontana. Dylan Medler takes P2 in Pirelli, and in Pirelli, Max Mugelli takes P3. There is Massimo Pepe from the MP Racing team. Scuderia Prague are going to be hot-footing it down the pit lane as well, because they will want to celebrate the fact that Hendrik Viol takes P2. That will be enough for him to become the champion of Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Am. Let's celebrate the fact that we have a new Trofeo Pirelli Am champion, Hendrik Viol. There is our new Trofeo Pirelli Am champion, Hendrik Viol. I said earlier on he was the bridesmaid last year. This year he becomes the bride. For Scuderia Prague and for Hendrik Viol, it is a championship-winning season. There he is inside the car. And yeah, I don't know what emotions we'll be going through. He's such a cool dude. I have a really, really good... Oh, there, inside the garage. There is Claudia. Her man has done it. There's a tear. There is a tear of delight. Oh, that's wonderful to see. Beginning to well up here in the broadcast booth. Steady on, Dave. Hendrik Viol, our Trofeo Pirelli Am champion for 2025. But let's remember, Gilles Remans has won the race. He is the Trofeo Pirelli winner at his home circuit of Spa-Francorchamps. He was chased all the way by David Gosner. Another fantastic drive from David Gosner. Awesome stuff. Absolutely awesome. It was a race full of drama. No question about that. And there will be lots of discussions during the course of the immediate aftermath, I would suggest. Listen to the screams. Listen to the screams and the delight. Gilles Remans. You can almost feel the emotion here. This is just great to see. Absolutely, fundamentally, it's part of the Ferrari Challenge. Gilles Remans then taking that richly deserved win. Now, crash helmet coming off. Yeah, well done, friend. What about that? What about that? Family here to congratulate. Love it. Come on, Hendrik, top of the car, please. You are the champion. Hendrik Viol. Well done, friend. He's such a cool dude, Nico. I said that, and he is. He just takes it all, absorbs it all, and yeah, okay. Here comes Claudia to congratulate him. And here is David Gosner. He has driven a fantastic race as well. So many people to say well done to that will struggle to get them all away, truthfully. I think it's Corinna Gosner there to congratulate her brother David. Massimo Pepe's in there as well. Here's confirmation of the classification then. Gilles Remans ahead of David Gosner, Hendrik Viol, Andrew Morrow. This is the overall result. Danilo Del Favaro, Anders Bidstrup, Angelo Fontana, Dylan Medler. Bear in mind, Red are Trofeo Pirelli drivers, white are AM drivers, Mikko Verhagen, Hanno Laskowski, Max Mugelli, Rafael Duran, Jacob Bidstrup, Herbert Guys. Unfortunately, we lost the likes of Felix Herziger, Björn Grossman and James Owen, but well done to Henri Acide, Marco Sanassi and Otto Blank. So what is it like to be a local driver, a home driver, and to win your home race? What the emotions that must be going through Gilles Renmans, driver of this number 77 car for Francorchamps Motors Brussels. Let's see how he's feeling right now. He is with Ludovica ahead of the podium, our race winner.
Gilles Renmans, aka James Hunter, you win at your home circuit. After a tricky start, you maintain your position even with the damage to the car, and with a solid performance, you win here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I saw what happened in front of me during the start, so I was like, now I have to stay out of trouble and just focus on my race. And then after the restart, when I heard from my engineer that the Ferrari had a drive-through penalty, I knew I just had to keep it clean and keep it on track. But it feels amazing. I mean, win one of my home races is was definitely one of my goals this season. So yeah, very happy, very happy. It's been a long time, but we're back finally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, young man. Great job done. Brilliant stuff. Of course, we will be hearing from our AM interview, our AM winner as well, and that is David Gosner. He was so quick today, so quick. Okay, so David Gosner standing by to be interviewed by Ludovica right now, just ahead of the podium. Let's hear from him.
David, congratulations. Not a simple race today with a tricky condition, but you win in your category and second overall, so congratulations.
Thank you really much. It was really nice today, and it was a really nice race, really funny, and I was lucky in the start this time. And it's really beautiful to have my family here, and that gives me a lot of power, and that is all, yeah. Thank you. Really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Power of family. David Gosner, well done, sir. Let's take a look at the highlights right now of the race 2 for Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli AM as the cars were lining up on the grid, ready to go racing. We'd had rain earlier on in the day, but every driver was on slick tyres. They headed towards turn number 1. Always a pinch point. Felix Herziger getting a little tug, and a number of other drivers catching the gravel. Then disaster. Felix Herziger and Björn Grossman in the gravel and in the barriers. We try and see it from the perspective of Hendrik Viol, who managed just to thread his way through everything that was going on around him. That, of course, meant that Yacine Ferrati was initially leading. Then we saw a red flag and the race was suspended. And then Yacine Ferrati would retake the start. We're on board with Hendrik Viol looking back at Andrew Morrow. Now, at this point, Hendrik Viol just needed to finish P4 or better to win the Trofeo Pirelli AM Championship for the year. He was doing better than that. He was in P2. Yacine Ferrati got a drive-through penalty, and that would drop him down the order. Dylan Medler was determined to get past Henri Acide, as Henri Acide had passed Dylan Medler before crossing the safety car line. So Dylan Medler did go through. Henri Acide picked up a drive-through penalty for that little infraction. Herbert Guys in the all-blue car gets overtaken by one of the fantastic Bidstrup brothers, but Gilles Renmans, local driver for Francorchamps Motors Brussels. It was a dream come true. He takes the win in Trofeo Pirelli in his home race, and David Gosner would win for Trofeo Pirelli AM, but winning the Drivers' Championship for Pirelli AM would be the Scuderia Prague driver Hendrik Viol. There he is, second in the race, new champion. There, the race statistics for you. Quite a few of them to tell you about. We will, of course, be heading up to the podium in just a moment. 2 podiums to come. One for Pirelli, one for Pirelli AM. Michele Mambelli will be bringing the drivers out for the podiums.
On the podium, the winners,
Max Mugelli taking yet another podium. It's P3 for the driver of the number 3 car. Well done, Max. Dylan Medler is back up on the podium. He takes P2. Well done, Dylan. And Gilles Redmans wins his local race.
On the podium, team Francorchamps Motors.
And of course, Francorchamps Motors Brussels are there for the
and now National Anthem.
Copa Teams Award as well. National Anthem to play out.
Our claps for the winners, and the trophy are presented by Antonello Coletta.
Mr. Antonello Coletta here to make the trophy presentations to our drivers. And Trofeo Pirelli podium, Max Mugelli receiving from our global head of Ferrari Endurance and Corsa Clienti, Mr. Antonello Coletta. His P3 trophy, P2 trophy to Dylan Medler. And this is the man, Antonello Coletta, that we were talking about with FAA, the architect of the success of the hypercar in Le Mans. And he makes the trophy presentation now to Gilles Redmans. And of course, Francorchamps Motors Brussels in receipt of trophy as well from Antonello Coletta.
And now the Pirelli trophy, Matteo Corradini.
Matteo Corradini is here to make the presentation of the Pirelli trophy to Gilles.
Please, Antonello, I need Antonello another time on the podium.
And everyone getting together on the podium for the photographs.
Antonello and Matteo Corradini on the podium.
Our top 3 drivers then in Ferrari Challenge. Just look at the height difference between Dylan Medler, Gilles Redmans, Max Mugelli. I think I said in the race, Dylan's 7 foot tall down here. Great guy. All the drivers are. Who are going to celebrate first? Who's going to win? It is going to be Gilles who's going to win the champagne race. Well done to him. Top 3 cars then. CDP Eureka competition. P3 for Max Mugelli. Another podium friend. For the collection, Miami. Ferrari of Miami. Dylan Medler takes P2. And it's Francorchamps Motors Brussels, the race winner. And they're the team that engineer the car that took the P1 position for Gilles Redmans. In the Drivers' Championship, there are now just 8 points between Felix Herziger and Yasin Ferrati, and Gilles Redmans 74 points behind in P3. That's the way the Trofeo Pirelli Drivers' Championship looks. And there the rest of the order for all the drivers that have taken part in the Trofeo Pirelli category of the Drivers' Championship during the course of the season. Trofeo Pirelli Am podium right now. We're going to be seeing David Gosner, Hendrik Viol and Andrew Morrow. Now, Hendrik Viol will receive his championship trophy, of course, at the glittering Finale Mondiale. But here's Andrew Morrow. After the disappointment of yesterday, he gets a well-deserved podium for PRM and RPM. Hendrik Viol takes P2 and the championship. And David Gosner, what a star you are on the top step of the podium. And the whole family there to celebrate the successes. CDP MP Racing are on the podium as well.
Applausi, claps for the
Applausi,
winners.
please, for our top drivers in the Pirelli AM class of Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. Antonello Coletta, once again, global head of endurance and Corsa Clienti, making the trophy presentation to our P3 driver, Andrew Morrow. And then the P2 trophy will go to the man that has just become the new Trofeo Pirelli AM champion, Hendrik Viol. Well done, Hendrik. And then on the top step of the podium once again, and taking the race winner's trophy, it's David Gosner. He's happy about that, and deservedly so.
And the trophy,
and of course, CDP MP Racing will be taking a trophy as well, the Copa Teams trophy, and Matteo Corradini will be here to make the Pirelli trophy presentation, also to David Gosner. And there it is. So double bubble for David Gosner, 2 trophies there.
Please, Matteo Corradini.
Everyone together once again for the photographs.
Antonello Coletta arriving on the podium for the final photo.
Everyone there for the photographs.
Photos and pictures from Spa-Francorchamps, Pirelli IM class, and the new champion, Hendrik Viol.
Yes, the new champion up there, as Michele has said, is Hendrik Viol.
Antonello and Matteo, wait, guys. Antonello and Matteo.
Right, who's going to win the champagne race? It's got to be Gosner, hasn't it? I'm not sure. We cut away from it before I can make a judgment. Here are the cars then that have done the business for our drivers. It's P3 for Charles Hurst and RPM and PRM and Andrew Morrow. For Hendrik Viol, Scuderia Prague Racing, P2, enough to seal the championship for this year. And for CDP MP Racing, of course, it's David Gosner that was on the top step of the podium. Well done, David. So we'll take a look at the Drivers' Championship standings right now, but with 171 points, Hendrik Viol cannot be beaten in the Drivers' Championship. Michael Verhagen is P2 at the moment, but Marco Zanassi is P3. It's still not done for P2, 3, and 4 in terms of the Drivers' Championship yet, so those positions will be decided, of course, in Mugello at the Finale Mondiali events. So there we have it, the Drivers' Championship for Trofeo Pirelli. Well, a very interesting race indeed. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye for now.